Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's been 16 years that the show has been on. I feel like I've grown up watching you all on the show. And Maci, your son Bentley is now 16. Does this feel like a full circle moment? What are some of the challenges and highlights of having your son on the show with you?
It does definitely feel like a full circle moment. I remember when I was pregnant with Bentley, and then, in his early years, I would think, oh, when he's 16, I'll be this age. But at that time, it seemed like a lifetime away. Like we would never get here. And now I'm like, I blinked twice and here we are. So it's definitely surreal. Um, and as far as just being on the show and I don't know, I feel like it's been this way my whole life. So it's hard to imagine like what life would be like without the show. I don't know. It's like, it's weird to even think about how the show has impacted us because it seems like it's always been around. Like I don't really remember life before
the show.
the cameras. Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, I feel like it must feel like that because you basically were almost a child, like you were 16 starting on the show. And you've grown up and you've matured and changed so much on the show. It's been really interesting to watch all of your stories. And Catelynn, you're open this season about the struggles that's going on with your daughter Carly and her adoptive parents. Have things improved?
No, there has not been any improvement. It is still the same. There is no contact as of now.
Okay. Is there any message you'd want to share with Carly and her adoptive parents?
No, I think as far as like Carly, Tyler and I always say like we want whatever she wants. We have asked her adoptive parents, like, is it Carly not wanting contact? Because we can understand if it's too hard or it's difficult or, whatever the case is, and they will not give us a response to that. Because if it was her that didn't want the contact, we would totally be like, okay, we understand and we are here if and when you ever want it. So I feel like with not knowing if it is her or if it's them, then I need to continue to speak about it because if there is a chance that Carly can see that I will never stop fighting for her to know the truth about the situation, then I feel like that's important for me to do.
I really applaud you for sharing your story with having an adoption within your story. I feel like it's helped a lot of young moms and moms in general just be able to see this kind of representation on screen. So I really applaud you for sharing that. Leah, your twins, they're going into high school, which is crazy even to say this season. What do you think you learned about yourself as a mom during this while on the show?
Oh, as a mom on the show, like overall 16 years, I'm doing a good job. I'm doing a good job. I think that I doubt myself sometimes. Like, am I doing this? Am I doing this right? Actually, I do it all the time. All the time.
Who doesn't?
But seeing who they are and who they're becoming, it just feels great. Like, it's okay. Like, we're going through this together. Yes, I was a teen mom. And the way that they are, like, I'm just so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. And I will do anything and everything to make sure that they don't go through the same things that we all went through and that we advocate for on the show. So I will continue to do that. But it's so beautiful to see them blossom into young ladies. It really is.
And Maci, you've worked hard to have a co-parenting relationship with your ex, Ryan. You've even said that you were ready for babysitting duty with his new little one.
Yeah.
How's it felt to see him really work on his sobriety and be present for Bentley and everyone in his life?
it's amazing. I mean, I feel like I don't know, it's just so nice to see him, be who he was always meant to be and enjoying life and, gaining his confidence and his belief in himself. And just to see him know that he's good enough and know that he deserves this. It's been amazing.
And Catelynn, we've seen you and Tyler work through a lot during your time on the show. What do you think is the key to maintaining your relationship over the years?
Honestly, I think that, not only are we like partners and obviously like husband and wife, but we're actually like Tyler is literally like my best friend. Like, when I think of my best friends, he's definitely my number one best friend. And I think also it just comes with making sure you take the time to connect, not even in an intimate way, like even just like through talking or through holding hands or giving a hug as you pass by while you're doing something. Connection is huge, and talking and making it a priority to spend time with each other, you know, when you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Thanks.
And Leah, so many fans feel like they've grown up with you and your girls on screen. What does it mean to see like messages like that on social media and the love from the fans?
I think we love it. We love it. And they have grown up with us. I went from 16, 17 years old to now I'm 30, about to turn 33. So yeah, they have
it's
16
crazy.
years. They've grown up with us and they've been able to watch the kids grow up, and it feels great to know that we have that audience. And I feel like it's great that we've had a platform to really, really make a difference for a lot of young girls and boys out here.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's been so amazing watching all three of you on the show. I've been watching since the very first season of 16 and Pregnant. So like way back. I've seen like all the original like shows, and it's been so great seeing all of you like grow within yourselves as moms, parents, and partners. And I really applaud what you're doing and putting out your lives for people to see what's going on and like share a positive message, I feel like overall. And
Thank you.
I will say, I also feel like the Teen Mom cast seems pretty close knit. And your castmate Amber is open this season about what happened with Gary going missing. Have any of you been in contact with her since all of that happened?
I feel like Maci and I were during that period of time when everything was going on. I mean, Maci went and drove and was with Amber. And I feel like I stayed in contact too, just to kind of let her know, like, hey, if you need to talk, we're here. But yeah, I mean, it kind of ebbs and flows with Amber too, you know.
Yeah, that was probably pretty hard for her to go through. That was crazy how it all unfolded too, and just reading the headlines and then also seeing the updates. It was very, very, must have been very hard. But I do also have to ask, since the show has been on 16 years, what message would you each share with your 16-year-old self if you could go back in time and talk to your 16-year-old self?
I would tell myself to not be so hard on yourself. And that making yourself a priority is very much a good thing.
Being a little bit selfish at 16 and 17 years old, focusing on your goals and your dreams and what you're passionate about, do that. Do that. Everything else will fall into place, but do that. Have fun. Yeah,
I think for me it would be to really get educated about the choice that you are making, and to definitely get you some sort of representation, because you're only a child.
And then also, I know, like Maci, your son is obviously 16. Leah, your daughters are going into high school. Have you all had these kinds of conversations with your daughters and your children about like the situation that you all went through and what maybe they could go through in high school? I know like everyone growing up has these types of conversations with their parents, and sometimes it can be difficult.
I never had those conversations. I didn't talk to me about sex.
So I do a lot of research.
Right,
I'm constantly researching stuff, and it might not be all right, but I know like at 13 years old, it's great to get your daughter in with a gynecologist. Just getting established. It doesn't mean you have to have a pap smear, but letting them know and learn about their bodies is so important, and keeping that open communication, that open dialogue with them, it really pays off. And even if it's a little awkward at the beginning.
Right. And I think also like starting the conversation at a young age, like since Nova has been like 6, you know, we have talked about it at a child level. You know, it started off with her being like, oh, so you guys mated, because she used to play this horse game and make little horses. I'm like, yes, we mated. And then that progressed into like her asking more questions. And then we, you know, Nova's 10 and she knows about sex. She knows about birth control. She knows about protection. She knows about the adoption, like she knows about all of it.
Which plays into like unplanned pregnancy and the decisions you have to make at such a young age.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like, you know, we've all done that. Like we've started the conversations at child appropriate ages and explained it in a child appropriate way. And so now it's just normal for our kids to talk to us about those things that we didn't talk to our parents about.
To ask questions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's something that this show has been really important. I feel like about 16 and pregnant, but also teen mom in general, like showing these types of situations to younger girls or a younger audience that maybe wouldn't have been exposed to these types of things, just to see the reality of what it's like to be a teen mom. What is it like knowing that you've had this impact on so many people?
I think it's
Fulfilling?
awesome.
Yeah.
Fulfilling. It makes
Yeah.
your
It's,
purpose.
I feel like it's rare to have the opportunity to really, really change the world. And so it's definitely been a blessing.
And I think like one of the most amazing things I've ever like I hear is when parents will write to me, or even if they see me somewhere, they'll say like, you know, your show really helped me start having the conversation with my children, because we would watch things and then after the show we would talk about it all. So I feel like it also helped parents kind of open the door to the awkward conversations.
Yes.
But their teens were so invested in it, they were just like willing to talk about it and use some of our stories as examples and things to talk about. Like that's awesome.
And I really feel like this show was like revolutionary in a way. I remember when it very first came out, everyone was like scandalized by it and like didn't understand what it was about until they actually saw it. And I remember my mom was like, I don't know if I want you to watch this. And then she like watched it and she's like, oh, this is probably good for you to watch. Like, you know, as I was a young teen when I started watching it. And I feel like the impact, like sometimes people don't actually like, they think of it as a reality show, but they don't really think of the impact that it could have on so many young people.
I think the
I
impact
think that's really
unnoticed sometimes, because it really has. Look at the statistics of teen pregnancy rates.
Well, and they
you know?
showed that our show, in fact, helped
Yes.
lower the teen pregnancy rate to the lowest that it's ever been. And you know, like that's the reason why we all started to do the show, and that's the reason why production started to make the show, was because something needed to change. There was a huge problem going on of just young teens not being educated and finding themselves in unplanned pregnancies. And so we all were like, wow, we could if we show the reality and the real struggles and the real life of what it's like, maybe we can make a difference. And to know that it is really awesome.
It's very rewarding.
It is.
And looking back over the years on the show, what are some of all of your favorite memories that you have? I feel like this is such a unique way of like almost like home videos, being able to look back at been happening in your life over the years.
I think that's the best thing for me is like literally all of my children's births and their smallest little moment, like when there's like little itty bitty babies.
Like their first words.
It's all documented.
Yeah.
Like who gets that? Nobody.
No, I agree.
Yeah, like that's my favorite part, is to be able to have like hear Nova's little 2-year-old voice, or like Veda and Raya being born. Like,
yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
And going into the new year, and since there's the new season of the show, what are each of you embracing and hopeful for in this next chapter in your lives?
30 and thriving. I think we're 30 and thriving.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Surviving or thriving, or both?
We're both surviving and thriving. Yeah. I don't know. I think for me and Ty really is we're putting a lot of energy into a podcast that we are coming out with that drops in February. And, you know, we're talking a lot about all different things, but also we will also want to use it as a platform to give adoptees a voice too. And so I'm really excited about that. I'm excited for people to hear about it and to hear a different side about our lives and adoption and everything that goes into it. So I'm super excited for that.
I'd say probably just embracing the fact that, you know, time is a thief, and really just trying to be present and embrace the time we have left with Bentley at home before he either goes off to school or goes to work or goes to trade, whatever he decides to do. Just enjoying the family time.
And what is that like looking to the future? I can't believe he's almost 18. How are you preparing for that?
He'll be 18 soon.
Good question. Are you? I don't know. I kind of feel like there's not a way to like, you know, say how I'm preparing. I think it's like a daily thing. It's a daily thing. Just try to stay consistent, keep doing the job that you're doing, and enjoy it.
For all of you, what have been some of the favorite milestones that you've had either on the show or with your kids over the years?
Seeing them born, seeing our kids, or for me personally, seeing my kids born on TV,
Mhm.
their first, steps and words, those little milestones we will cherish forever.
Mhm.
And we have that documented.
Yeah, I think for me would be like seeing me evolve from like a young kid into a woman, and how I've stopped a lot of intergenerational traumas in their tracks, and I haven't passed a lot of those down to my children, and that's something really cool to witness and to see.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like what y'all said.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, Catelynn, you just brought up how you have been stopping intergenerational trauma. I also want to applaud you for being so open about your mental health on the series. I feel like that's been really brave and also really great for a lot of viewers to like be able to empathize and see representation like that. And also I just feel it's really brave of you to like share all of that. What's it been like seeing fans who also can relate to you in this way?
I think the best thing is like, we have to start ending the stigma somewhere, and we will never end the stigma around mental health if nobody speaks on it. And so I feel like me just speaking on it and being 100% like vulnerable and open helps other people. It helps other people learn like where to kind of go to ask for help, how to ask for help. And that sometimes it's okay to not be okay, and it gets people talking about it. And I think another big motivator for me, like sharing all that, was helping other people not feel alone, because when you're going through that, a lot of the times you just feel like it's only you and life's going to be like this forever. And so I think it helps people not feel alone. And then in turn, it helps me not feel alone, because people will message me and I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, I struggle with the same thing. And we have conversations. And so, yeah, you gotta try to end the stigma somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's really great that I mean, obviously, I don't want you to have struggles, but I think it's great that you're willing to be open about this and share it with viewers.
Yeah.
I think it's important, to have that kind of representation on TV, and just to, like, as you said, to end the stigma. I think it really helps. Because there is obviously such a large platform with Teen Mom and so many viewers who've been around for so many years. I mean, I've been watching since I was like 16 or 17. And it's crazy to think that now I'm like in my 30s and I'm talking to you, and it's like this show has kept viewers hooked for so many years. And I do have to ask one fun last question. I do know that a lot of fans binge watch the series. I know I've had moments where I just sit there and watch the whole show. I'll rewatch it. What are some shows that all of you like to binge watch?
Ooh, I like Married at First Sight.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We're on a Vampire Diaries kick.
Oh my gosh, iconic.
Also, I love 90 Day Fiance the other way. So like when Americans go to different countries. That one's my favorite.
It's so good.
I have to say, probably like Law and Order, SVU.
Oh yes, yes,
yeah.
No, I don't watch
Housewives. Only certain cities.
Okay.
See, I feel like we'd all get along. We have the exact same taste in TV. Like all those shows, I'm like, yep. I watched all of them. Well, thank you all so much. And thank you so much also for sharing your journeys on this series. I can't believe it's been 16 years since the show has been out. That's just so crazy to me.
Yeah, it is crazy. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.